Hey guys, today we're gonna be reacting to 1C Entertainment, so let's get on with it.
I'm 17 years old
Okay.
now, but when this incident happened, I was 15 years old. It was a sunny day when my family and I decided to go to my aunt's house to hang out with family. I was very excited because I loved my aunt's house and I loved spending time with my
Okay,
cousin.
pretty
When we
normal.
got there, my cousin and I planned a sleepover. So we went to the nearby store and bought some snacks. But when we were going back, a man called out to us. When we looked back, we saw a nice-looking man was there holding a pack of chips, which we dropped mistakenly. I went and took the pack of chips from him, and he gave us a genuine smile. I didn't think much about it after. By the time we got back, it was night already, and we were picking movies to watch. It was always comfortable in my aunt's house because she let the cool air flow in through the door. The main entrance has two doors and a space in between them. The first door is made of iron bars that air can flow through, and the second door is a normal wooden door, a few meters behind the iron door. My aunt always keeps the wooden door open so that the air can come through, but keeps the iron door locked for security. As we finally started to watch a movie, we heard a soft thud coming from the corridor between the main doors. An eerie feeling came over me, and I immediately asked my cousin if she had locked the iron door or not. She said she couldn't remember, so she got up and went to check it. A minute went by, but I didn't hear anything, so I got up to check on her, and my body froze. A man had broken into the house, and my cousin was unconscious on the floor. The man had a mask on, and he started to chase me. I ran and started shouting to alarm everyone that there was an intruder in the house. The man got faster, but I managed to run into the kitchen and lock the door behind me. My mom and aunt were also there. They were scared. Their mobile phones were kept in another room. The man kept banging on the door, and when the door didn't budge, I heard him walk away. I couldn't leave my cousin alone, so I gathered all the courage I had left, took a plate from the kitchen racks, opened the door, and rushed to the man. As he looked back, I smashed the plate onto his head, and blood started to pour down his head. I quickly grabbed my phone and called 911 and went to check on my cousin. I sprinkled some water on her face and she woke up. Fortunately, nothing serious happened to her. The police
Wow,
arrived and arrested the man.
that's gotta be really bad.
I was shocked to see that it was the man who helped us when we went to the store. The police confirmed that he was following us and hid until we got to the house. He was a kidnapper who kidnapped young girls and sold them for money. I'm just happy that nothing bad happened to us. I realized that night that you shouldn't trust a stranger just because they are a bit nice to you.
Wow. Okay guys, let's get another one. Okay, road trip.
Sometimes I wonder if I really experienced it or if it was just something I imagined. About 25 years ago, I went on a trip alone in my car. You might ask why I went on a trip alone, but at the time, I didn't really have anyone to travel with. The destination of my trip was in southern part of my country, which was quite far from my home, so it was a long drive. I left in the morning and arrived at my destination in the evening. It was a very small town. The sun had set, so the town was completely dark and there was not a single person in sight. I drove slowly and looked for a motel nearby. As I was driving along, I saw a small bridge ahead of me.
Oh my
A man sitting on
god.
a chair next to the bridge. When I suddenly noticed the man in the darkness, I got startled and stopped the car. When I rolled down the window and asked what was wrong, the man came closer, looked me up and down, and said, "Don't cross this bridge." Then I asked him, why, in a slightly annoyed voice, wondering if he was a weirdo. Then the man said, "Don't go over this bridge. Only designated people can cross this place." I was feeling exhausted after a long drive and shouted, "Who decides that?" Then the man mumbled something, but I couldn't hear him. I was troubled. What should I do? I frantically thought to myself. If I don't cross this bridge, going around would take me an extra 20 minutes, but I was tired and didn't want to drive any longer. So I shouted at him, "Sorry, but I have to just go." The man stared at me for a few seconds, then went back to his chair and sat down. I eventually just went over the bridge, and the man continued to watch me with a strange expression. While I was crossing the bridge, I heard a sudden loud noise. It sounded like something huge had fallen on the car, and I felt the car shake. I I was startled and stepped on the brakes. I slowly looked up at the top of the car through the window, shivering. I couldn't see anything. I was so scared to go outside that I just froze there, not knowing what to do. I looked in the rearview mirror, and the man who had been sitting there was just still staring at me. What the? I was wondering what to do, and then suddenly, at that moment, out of the corner of my eye, I saw something slowly coming down from the top of the car. It was a huge hand. A huge yellow hand. It knocked on the window. I screamed because I was so surprised. Then the hand slowly came down further and tried to open the car door. I quickly pressed the button to lock the door. Fortunately, I locked it in time and the door did not open. I saw that incredibly huge arm right in front of me, and a huge shadow covered the entire car. It was definitely an incredibly huge thing. However, I couldn't see what it looked like. I only saw its arm. However, the arm alone was so huge that it nearly covered the entire window. I couldn't tell what it was. My whole body was shaking like crazy. Even though I had closed all the windows, a terrible stench began to fill the car. For some reason, I felt like there was a hazy fog in front of my eyes. I started feeling like I couldn't catch my breath, and my vision was getting blurry and fuzzy. I felt the fear of death, and I had a premonition that I would die if I didn't get off the bridge quickly. I stepped hard on the accelerator. The car shot forward like a bullet, and then the thing on top started to punch the window. Then the window broke with a loud noise. I stepped harder on the accelerator, and fortunately the bridge wasn't long, so I was soon off the bridge. When I crossed the bridge and had reached the flat ground, the giant arm disappeared and the shadow covering the car also disappeared. I looked in the rearview mirror and vaguely saw a huge yellow creature crawling underneath the bridge. It was huge, but I couldn't see exactly what it looked like. I stopped the car for a moment and got out. My legs were shaking and I couldn't breathe properly, so I ended up collapsing to the ground for a moment. Luckily, I found a motel and asked the staff about the bridge, but he said he didn't know anything. However, I saw sweat dripping down his forehead, even though it was a really hot day. You know something? I couldn't find an answer. I returned home right away the next morning. Of course, I went back using a different route, not the bridge. It's been about 25 years since that incident. Even now, I don't understand what I saw then. Was I hallucinating? But I remembered that window of my car really broke, so I really happy. But I still have more questions there.
Wow.
The bridge. Why did he say that to me? Who was he? Did he know something? And the more terrifying question is, what if my car door had opened, or if I hadn't gotten off the bridge at that moment, what would have happened?
Wow. Okay guys, that's gonna be it for our scary animations. Please be sure to check out 1C Entertainment. He is good at telling the best scary stories, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, and see you on the next one. Bye. Nope.